Okay, we're going to just start our webinar. I hope everyone can hear me. Thank you again for joining us. There will be two of us today. Owen and just I, and we are going to talk just to do like a brief overview of what we covered during our last webinars and talk about CAHRC products and services. And in the end, there will be a short survey, just 9 questions that we will ask you to complete. It's important for CAHRC and for our funding. And Owen is going to do the slides. Can we have a next slide, please? Yeah, I'm not going to repeat about CAHRC and Quality Agri Workforce Management Program. So what I'd like to do is to highlight more news that happened after our first webinar. I think we left at the news from October 26 that employers are required to review the wages of the temporary foreign workers. And I just want to highlight it again, like if you would like, you need to stay compliant with the rules of the regulations. And there was an increase of the wage. So just double check what is the current wage on the job bank. And if it increased, you as an employer are required to increase the wage of your temporary foreign worker as well. And a good practice is to do it at least every year. And the other news that was just in news in the media, like from November 5th, was that there is a big surge of businesses that are looking to hire temporary foreign workers. And overall, the number of LMIA applications increased 39% nationwide and 83% in Western Canada. So that's a great increase. It is a good sign of the economy. At the same time, it means the processing times might get lengthier. So just take into consideration when you are submitting your LMI application. On November 29th, there was an annual update of wage posted on the job bank. So if you're hiring your foreign worker in agricultural or non-agricultural stream, go and double check the wage. Not the median wage, but the wage for your particular occupation or no code in your economic region. I just did a quick review as I'm based in Saskatchewan and I am very familiar with the applications for the general farm worker. I think for the agricultural wage, there was an increase from 22 to 22.49 cents. And for non-agricultural stream, for example, a general farm worker, the average wage in Saskatchewan increased from 22 to 25. So double check it and adjust it with the wage that you're currently paying to your foreign workers. And the other news that I would like to mention, we are planning to do a separate webinar on that in a new year, that International Experience Canada class opened their applications for the international use. And this might be one of the options that you would like to consider if you would like to bring a temporary help without an LMIA application. International Experience Canada, or IEC, allows young people from certain countries with which Canada has bilateral agreements to bring young people over here from between age 18 and 35. There are 3 categories how they can come over, and basically it's more like work and travel option. Employers are required to provide boarding and the minimum wage. My recommendation, if you're looking to bring someone from those countries, I don't have a list of the countries right now. It's available on the website. It's like UK, Australia, New Zealand. This year they added Finland. And my recommendation to talk to an organization called International Rural Exchange Canada. They are one of the hosting organizations, and they will help to connect you with a possible trainee from another country. Their website is there. So hopefully this is something that you would like to explore. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is just the stats that we were talking about. This is the stats from CBC News. Yeah, you can see the increase of LMIA applications by the province, and like the increase is dramatic. So like hope the government will be able to keep up with the number of applications and still be within the processing times that they declare. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is an interesting slide as well that you would want to consider when applying for LMIA. The next slide will be announced official processing times from ESDC website. This is just the average processing times that were collected based on the data. So, and it includes all applications. So we remember that agricultural stream is actually faster. It's about 10, 12 business days right now, but non-agricultural streams, employers have to wait for up to 50 business days for their LMIAs. So consider that as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is the LMIA processing time from the website for the months of October. They haven't published the data for the November yet, so agricultural stream is still 11 business days, but if you could see high wage, low wage stream, it's pretty lengthy. Next slide, please. And a few questions as well that I wanted to cover. Like first, I did follow up with Mark, who did the presentation of the employer compliance. We're still waiting for response from his team on those questions that we were not able to answer. So as soon as we receive them, we will distribute the answers to those questions. And one thing that I also wanted to mention, and that was partially covered in the last presentation with the LMIA online job bank. That's the questions that you fill in when you complete your LMIA application. And the questions like what would happen to your business if you don't bring a temporary foreign worker. My recommendation is to provide like as much information as you can to Service Canada. Just consider that the officer is like a clear page, clear plan, and they don't know much about your business. So try to describe the farm, the number of acres you have, the number of employees you have, what happened lately, did you expand, did any of your team members left, anyone retired, and so on. So you could provide like a reasonable rationale on hiring temporary foreign workers. What also ESDC would like to see is when we're talking about the impact, first is the financial impact that would happen to the business if there is no foreign worker. And for example, like in Western Canada, it's always like a short growing season. So there is a risk of frost damage. And if there is not enough manpower to operate the equipment, it will cause significant financial troubles to the farm and to the operation. Another reason could be that you do have your current like local workers, but because of the workload, they will be required to work extremely long hours, and it will be a safety hazard. So you need additional team members to cope up with this workload. And very often also the question that is asked for like smaller farms that like a farm owner is also operating the equipment and doing a bit of everything. The rationale that like a lot of employers were able to use is that I need to focus on the business side, on the marketing, on the finance, on making sure I have all the supplies lined up. So that's why I'm bringing a temporary foreign worker to operate the equipment. I hope it will help you with your applications. And the other question as well that we're collecting questions to the next meeting that CAHRC will have with the Government of Canada on temporary foreign workers. So if there is anything that you would like us to bring up, like no codes, wages, processing times, please write your questions either in chat or send me an email, and we will get it back we will provide these questions to the government. And we also wrapping up our project on sectoral workforce solution program, and we will be holding 2 employer group meetings, one in January and another one in March next year. So if anyone is interested in learning what CAHRC is doing as a part of this project, and also provide feedback on the current products and services that we have developed, please let us know in chat or send me an email, and we will send you an invitation to one of these groups meetings. They will be held virtually via Zoom. Next slide, please. Yeah, and now I'm going to talk a bit about CAHRC products and services that you can use and that hopefully can help you with your HR issues. So I'm a part of AHRC, and that's when we develop resources, tools, and services for employers to managing and hiring Canadian and temporary foreign workers. And there are a number of resources that you could use. These resources are currently available for free. Some resources we will have to start charging after March 31st. That's when our government funding is ending. But for now, it's for free. So if you would like to use it, please do so. And that will include training in HR management, like e-learning and various webinars that we are holding, commodity-specific training, a part of the Quality Agri Workforce Management Program. For example, there are 4 webinars that we had. And part of that, we're also going to have the employer guide on temporary foreign workers and e-learning training. We have done a training for leadership skills in farm supervisors. The training was piloted in March this year, and we are going. Right now, it's being translated into Spanish, and it will be available again. The other product that we are developing is called Agriculture 101 for newcomers. And this is an e-learning training for newcomers to Canada. They must be Canadian residents or refugees and able to work in Canada, but it's just an overview of agriculture in Canada and understanding different commodity groups. I will explain more about it later. CAHRC also has a great resource called Agri HR Toolkit, and this is a web-based resource with that covers 10 HR topics, from benefits, hiring to health and safety, retention, and succession planning, and various templates and resources that you can use or you can customize for your business. For example, as an employer hiring temporary foreign workers, you're required to have an abuse-free work policy. There is a template for that in HR Toolkit. Or, like as an example, another employer that currently used our resources, they wanted to have a policy for their workers on using digital media. Basically, they didn't want any pictures of their dairy farm to be on Facebook. So this policy is available in HR Toolkit as well. It can be customizable, and if you have any questions how to access it, the access is provided via commodity groups and associations via the code. So if you're a member of any commodity group, talk to them. They will supply you with the code. If you're not sure, contact us and we will help you to access it. Right now, it's free. If you're not a member of any commodity group, it's $99 per year. And again, like it's tons of resources and templates and information that can be helpful, especially if you're just starting developing your HR policies and procedures. And another product that we are developing is called Agri HR Community of Practice. And that's when we are getting together in a virtual space, Agri HR professionals, industry experts, and stakeholders, associations, just to have an access to resources, training, and expertise advice on different HR topics. I'm going to talk about that later as well. Can we have next slide? Yeah, that's just diving in the e-learning training. So e-learning training is like totally self-paced. So it's done through the learning management platform called agriskills.ca. And right now we have 2 types of training available. HR 101, this is just the basics of human resource management. It includes 7 modules, and you need to take one module after another one. We also have HR 201, which is like standalone training modules. They've been developed based on the feedback from the industry, and you can take any module at any time, depending on your needs, which is how to create abuse-free workplace, how to conduct an effective interview, partnering with the recruitment agencies, digital recruitment, how to find and recruit workers, integrating of foreign workers into your workplace, and retention of temporary foreign workers. Each model is from 40 minutes to 2 hours length, depending on the model. And yeah, you can take any model at your own space, standalone, depending on your needs as well. Can we have the next slide? This is the foundational skills for farm supervisors that was piloted in March. And yeah, it includes the models such as leading by example, motivating and engaging others, planning, problem solving and innovation, developing others, leading others with different backgrounds. And it's 6 models, 3 hours, and we had a great feedback. We added lots of real life examples based on our pilot in spring. And if you have a supervisor or you're considering to promote any of your workers to the supervisor, this is the great resource to consider as well. Next slide. And another product that we are developing right now, it's called IDEA training, and IDEA or EDI, which is equity, diversity, and inclusivity. This is like a new topic, especially in the Canadian agriculture. So we understand that everyone's IDEA or EDI journey is different, and we put together 8 training modules. Again, standalone, they can be taken depending on your needs, that you may to consider as well if you want to get more familiar with this topic, or if you're already on the way, which is Introduction to Equity, Diversity and Inclusion and Accessibility in Canadian Agriculture, Cultural Awareness in the Workplace, Overcoming Language and Communication Barriers in the Workplace, Promoting Diversity in Agriculture, Indigenous Awareness in Agriculture, Recruiting and Hiring an Inclusive Workforce, Inclusive Leadership, and Using Inclusive Language, Examples and Strategies for the Workplace. Great resources, each model also between 1 to 3 hours length, and you are welcome to look at that as well. And we have the next slide. This is Agriculture 101 for newcomers. This is a working title. The program will actually have the title Introduction to the Canadian Agriculture. So it's between 2 to 6 hours duration, depending like what the learners would like to take, because it will include like facts and figures about certain commodity groups, videos or so-called 3 things to know about certain commodity, job profiles, and also virtual farm tours. We partnered with Utensils and Farm and Food Care on that. So great resources for people that are new to Canada, would like to explore careers in agriculture. And it's also for free for like first 50 participants or more, like until March 31st. Can we have the next slide? This is Agri-HR Toolkit that I was talking about. We heard the feedback from a lot of employers that navigation was a bit overwhelming, so we are changing it. The mobile version is much more user-friendly right now, and you're welcome to check it out. The release of the new version will take place in January next year. Right? And this is the guide for employers on hiring and managing foreign workers. A lot of information that we've been covered in our 4 webinars is there, and the guide will be available in our HR toolkit as well. I also would like to mention that, going back to the foreign workers, that we are looking at developing 2 more webinars as we discussed. One will be about the immigration pathways for the temporary foreign workers, and the other one on hiring foreign workers without LMIA, as there are other options such International Experience Canada or NAFTA. So these are the options that some employers would like to consider. And the other product that we are looking at is CAHRC Community of Practice. Can we just click? There's a bit of animation over there. Yeah, yeah. So it's a virtual space. It looks like a social platform, very similar to Facebook, that we will be launching in January. And it will bring together employers, HR professionals, industry experts, stakeholders, just to talk and communicate in one space and share best practices, answer questions. There will be a Q&A from, like, say, an immigration lawyer, a laborer, a specialist in compensation and benefit or employee wellness. And we're also planning to host webinars. Likely it will be one webinar a month on various HR topics, and another webinar will be on EDI or IDEA topic as well. The access to the community of practice is free until the end of March. And if you're interested, sign up to our news, and you will find out about the release, which again is planned for January next year. Can we have a next slide? Yeah, and we would like to ask you to complete a short survey. It's just 9 questions, the feedback about our webinar series. I know that the registration process was a bit complicated, but please take your time to do that if you can. Owen is going to share a link in the chat if Owen doesn't mind, and that's important for ours to go. Oh, sorry, Owen.
It looks like the chat's unavailable on my screen at the moment. I'm not sure if you can.
Oh.
I just noticed.
Oh, okay. I can try to do it. Oh, sorry about that. Technical things happen. We switch to a new Teams. Yeah, here it is. So if you can take your time to complete it so that we could go back to ESDC with the survey and hopefully be able to secure more funding to continue developing those products for the employers and have these products accessible for free as well. So I'll just take some time, give you some time to complete that if you don't mind. Oh, here's on. These technical things happen. I think we have the chat. And if you have any more questions, please send me an email or ask you send the question in chat right now. We still have a bit time left. And yeah, main questions is if there is anything that we need to raise with Service Canada about the LMIA application process or temporary foreign worker program. And the other one, if you would like to be a part of our employee working group on the sectoral workforce solution program.